Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It is Monday, so we're here to talk about your favorite inmates. It's Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 2, Street Lies and PIs. And I've got my girl Keisha here, and we are going to break it down. This was a great episode. Hey Keisha.
Hey, how's it going?
Keisha, this is a good episode. People are into it.
It was it had a little bit of everything in it. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had bad wigs, we had good wigs.
Yes, yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
did. Yeah.
I don't know if we have to go to wig court this week. Wig court really only applies to
No.
for this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, we're just kind of used to Raneka, but there were so many other things going on with the Raneka that, yeah. I mean, the shirts we can't find her a shirt that just fits. They just don't fit. I don't know what it is, and no one in her life will just tell her your shirts don't fit, Raneka.
She's a tiny little thing. She probably has a hard time shopping for clothes.
Yeah, and you know what? And as a person who has been of a very large size, I never think about the other side of it, of just being too small to find something that fits, which that is the case with Raneka. Bless her. Yeah.
She could shop in the big girl section at Target.
Yeah. I'm thinking she's probably like an extra small.
Yeah, she's an extra small, or she's like a teenager-y size extra large, right? You remember when your kids grew out of that, like 8, 12, 14, and then they go into like 16 extra large, and sometimes you couldn't find that, but then you didn't want them to put them to ladies extra small because that didn't fit because they were kids. There's no... Yeah. So maybe Raneka shops there. Yeah, that's where she is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that. We could start with those two.
Okay.
All right. So we got Raneka, 34, an entrepreneur, as we know, and Asante, age 32, R.I.P.
R.I.P. And they're going to keep reminding us of it because they have to put that screen.
Yeah.
Are they going to do that every single episode?
Okay, so I watched the screener and didn't watch it when it was on. And I did not see the screen, and I wondered if it was there.
They do. They put it in post. So I watched the screener, and I watched it Friday night, and yes, we get it, but I don't know.
No, but some people don't.
New people,
right?
Yeah, I guess they're going to do it the whole season.
Yeah, because I think that if you just tuned in and you're like, I'm going to do a little quick Google and see what's up with these people now, like we all do, then you'll be like, wow, some of these people aren't alive anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we open with 9 hours out of jail, and he's sneaking out of the house. And then at 12:34 p.m., which she got up at noon, but I mean, this was like, they were doing it till 4 a.m, so she had to sleep till 12. And she's walking around the house like E.T. Like E.T. phone home with that sheet over her head, wrapped up like, phone home. So she said they had sex for a lot of hours. It was so good. She knew it was good. He was moaning. She was moaning. But she woke up and he was gone. And then she says, and I got a text from him saying, I got a new phone. Right. And that's all she has. What?
Yeah, I got a new phone, but don't bother texting or calling it because I'm not going to answer. He forgot to add that part in there, but I just want you to know I got a new phone. That's it.
Why do you think he did that? Because he doesn't want to be found. Why do you think he did that?
Maybe because if he got arrested again, he could still call her. I did tell you I got a new. I have no idea. It is like stupid talking to stupid. You know what I mean? It is stupid ass people talking to one another because maybe in case he left something at the Airbnb and just, I don't know. It made zero sense at all that he did that. I don't know.
Oh my God. So her first phone call is she calls this new phone number and says, bitch, where the fuck you at? I woke up and you're not here. You better pick up your fucking phone, bitch. Now, this is terrible. It's a terrible thing to say. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I do enjoy when a woman gets so mad at a man that she starts calling him a bitch. I think it's hilarious.
Absolutely. Yes,
It's
it is
hilarious.
so fun because you know how pissed off she is at him when she refers to him as a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious. So
Yeah.
then she calls her sister Angel and said, this bitch is missing. He hadn't even been out for 24 hours because she was like, wow, 48 hours. She was like, hadn't even been 24 hours.
Yeah.
And she says, I sat in that parking lot from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. waiting on his ass. And and Angel goes, wow, that's crazy. And she goes, he hadn't even seen crazy because I'm at a motherfucking 10 times crazier, okay?
Yeah. She's about to be nutty. You know, the three
She's turning into
personalities.
nutty.
She's nutty. Yeah.
She's turning into nutty. Now at 5:30 p.m., we get her screaming. And I'm not going to scream like she did because it'll short my mic out and you won't be able to hear it. But it was hilarious. She screams at the top of her lungs, Asante! It's 5:30. Where the fuck you at, bitch? I was like, and they just show it from the side of her leaning over the phone screaming. And that was great. That was great cinematography.
I felt that anger. I have been that mad at a motherfucker like that before. For her to tell him what time it was, she had to be pretty fucking mad. Like, I felt that. I mean, can you imagine you have used your child's college fund? Instead of getting your nails done and getting that back window fixed, you have decided to go bail his bitch ass out of jail instead of getting your back window fixed. And he left. It hasn't been 24 hours that he has ghosted your ass. And you have to remind him of what time it is because he doesn't have time, possibly doesn't have time on his new phone. Okay. So you're telling him what time it is. You cannot find this man. You have no clue where he is. That is like, I'm sure she's probably about to have a brain aneurysm. That's how mad she is, okay? I felt everything. This is what you really wish the person was in front of you so you can knock them out. This is a knock the K out of Curtis kind of situation right here, okay? That is how mad she is. Yes.
Yeah.
She wants to knock him out right now. I don't blame her. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny. So now it's 7:17.
Yeah.
This is on the clock on the TV, and she calls her sister Shakola, who we love, and she's like, "He's a bitch. He's a bitch." And Shakola goes, "All right, where are your daughters?" Like that's Shakola's like, "Where are my nieces? What have you done with those poor children?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "They're at Ray's. I'm so glad that they're not here because I sent them over to Ray's, and they're not here." And Shakola says, "You have moved all the way to Atlanta for a fucking Where's Waldo? And you don't even know where Waldo is." All right, give Shakola another season. She's funny.
Yes, she's is. Funny. Very much so.
Oh, my God. So now it's 8:05, and she's talking to her friend Ray, who says, Ray is saying to her, I know that you won't like what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to say it. This might be a blessing, and you need to see what's right in front of you. What's right in front of you. You need to see it, and we need to just let this go. But if you want to go swing, I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Oh, it's time to swing. Most definitely it is time to swing on his bitch ass right now. Because that's how I would do. I mean, she's got all the answers at this point.
Yes.
She's got all of them. But she needs to get that aggression out.
At no point did he answer the phone and give any kind of excuse. He just completely put her on block, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Ray says, now what about this auntie? And Raneka goes, well, I spoke to the auntie. And Ray's like, what? Okay, now we're going to swing. So Ray says, I'm going to get my sister to watch the girls tomorrow, and we're going to talk to this PI that I know about, and we're going to track his ass down. Okay. Now, we're in the car the next day, and Raneka calls Ray's sister, Shanika. Raneka and Shanika, by the way, spelled the same way, EKA.
Yes.
So Raneka calls Ray's sister, which now makes me concerned that Ray's name is also Raneka.
It possibly is.
Yeah, they could be Raneka and Shanika, but because she already knows a Raneka, she's got to change it to Ray so we keep it straight of who's who.
Because that would be mass confusion right there.
So she calls Shanika and was like, I just really want to thank you for watching the girls. Ray and I got to go take care of some business. Are they there? Can I speak to them? So one of the daughters gets on the phone and she's like, All right, hey girls, I'm glad you're having a good time. Make sure you get your schoolwork done, and I hope you get your Lunchables packed for tomorrow, and get your shoes shined up, and I'll just see y'all at the track meet or whatever.
Right.
She's just real motherly. And
She's Raneka right now. Because remember when they showed it? She's Raneka. When she's being mommy mode, she's Raneka.
Yeah. And the one daughter goes, all right, Mom, what's going on? What's going on with the Sante? Because last they heard she was going to pick them up and they were going to be one big happy family.
Right.
And she goes, what's up with the Sante? And she says to her daughter, girl. She says, girl, who knows? And her daughter goes, well, you need to come home. I'm going to tell you something right now. If your teenage daughter says to you, you need to come home, then you need to turn around and go home.
And the fact that her daughter doesn't even know the details of the situation, and she's like, you need to bring your ass home, like right now. Yeah. But her mom isn't going to listen for shit.
No. And by the way, both of those daughters listened at the door when Ray told her sister Shanika about what's going on. She's like, you got to watch these kids. So I can go help Raneka kick some ass with this PI.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
So Raneka tells Ray when they're meeting, she goes, listen, I got a text from his auntie who is claiming to be his girlfriend and says that she picked him up the other night. And Raneka says, well, I said, well, you ask him who picked him up for jail and put up that half of that $3,000. Now we see all these texts going back and forth, and I screenshot and rewound and zoomed in and tried to do my best to break it down for y'all. So the first one says, and this is from Raneka, says, Asante is a whole fool out here. Ask him who picked him up and who the fuck's house he was at when he came to you. I'm the one that lifted him there. So I don't know if she means he used my phone to get a lift or what she means. I'm the one that lifted him. She spelled Lyft. I'm the one that
saw
lifted
that.
there like I'm the one that picked him up and brought him out. I don't know. That's confusing. And then she says, he's probably putting his dirty ass dick and every other bitch he's dealing with. I was the first, but ... That is right. She was the first.
Okay. Yes, she was. Only because she picked him up.
Only because she sat out in that parking lot with the camera crew for 9 hours.
Yes.
So then she writes $1,000 myself, but not from you. So I think she's trying to say I put in $1,000 or $1,100, whatever it is, my own money. And then she says, so he's stealing. He's a whole bum out of here, sis. And Auntie replies, oh, wait, so he sent my money to someone else? Shake my head. And then Raneka says, had to. He's a scammer, and this shit is surreal. So I was trying to read it and go back and forth, but Ray was reading it, and then as she's reading it, she's going up and down, and then we find out that the other girl, the auntie, says she's been with him for 2 years, and she has bought him everything he has. Well, what was the guy? He's got a garbage bag full of clothes, but I think she means that phone.
Okay. So at this point, we don't even need a PI. All the questions have been answered.
No. You need to pack up, whatever, because your
go home.
Not there yet, and go yet.
Yeah.
Call that moving company and tell them to turn it around on the highway.
Yeah, everything has been answered. He used you to get out of jail. You were his prison plaything. He needed a ride after prison. He needed the bail money, and he got, he dicked you down, and he has no interest in you at all. Hey,
and I will say that somebody posted. It seems like Asante got the sex, so he had to go over to the aunties to get the steak.
For the food. Yeah.
Shrimp and salad.
Shrimp and a salad. That's exactly what he did. Yeah. Absolutely 100%. So
I don't see any food here. I'm going to have to go elsewhere.
Well, she didn't have any more money to get it. Does Raneka's wig look like she can afford steak? No, it doesn't. No. There's no need for the PI.
So Ray's like, well, how do you feel? And she goes, well, I feel played and I feel disappointed. And Ray goes, well, all this is just disappointing. So obviously he's a narcissist. Obviously he's a misogynist. Of course, Raneka's like, slow your roll. I don't know what that means.
She's like, Google search, spell check. She doesn't know how to say that word
again. Yeah. So the PI's coming. all right. And she goes, well, I want to look into revoking that money I gave for the bond. And if I revoke that money for the bond, then they'll have a warrant on him.
And that's what she should have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what she does do. We don't
Raneka.
know.
She ain't going to do that.
So we meet the PI. His name is Casey. He's Casey the PI. He looks like every other PI we've seen on these shows.
Yes.
He's on retainer. And she tells him about the money, the bond money, and the $1,100 came from another woman, but $1,800 came from her. Whatever. I can't do math. And
close enough.
She said, it's close. It's pretty close. And she says, I've got a phone number for the auntie. And he goes, all right, let me see it. So he's looking it up. And she's like, and I got the old number and I got the new number. So he's looking it all up. And then she goes, oh, and what I realized was, wow, I looked back at my phone for the messages he sent her from my phone, and he gave the address where she is. I was like, it took you 36 hours to scroll up and look at the text that he sent her?
And that is how you know he gives zero fucks. He didn't even delete the text messages that he sent to the other woman on your phone.
Yeah. He's had a phone in prison. I said maybe it's been so long since he had a phone that he thought maybe it went off the screen, it was gone. But he had a phone in prison, so he knows.
Yeah.
So she says, so she gives them the phone number, and then he says the name, and he goes, all right, well, it took me 1/5 of a minute of a Google Facebook search. You didn't need to pay me for this. You could have just called Mary Payne and Keisha.
Yeah.
It's a 44-year-old female, and Raneka goes, oh, she's out of auntie. She's a cougar.
Yeah. So next month on October 21st, when I turn 44, I'm going to get a shirt that says Auntie Cougar on it. Since I'll be the Auntie Cougar age right there. I was like, you motherfuckers, I'm like, y'all are really making it seem like 44 is that damn old, okay? Like, come on.
Okay. Well, if you're going to be 44 on October 21st and I'm going to be 55 on October 21st, what the fuck does that make me?
I don't know what we going to put on yours. We going to put ancient cougar on yours and Mary Payne.
I'm like the toothless tiger out there. I'm not even a cougar. I'm like the old lady laying out. Yeah.
I was like pointing the middle finger up at them when they were saying, I'm like, okay, well, fuck y'all.
Oh my God. So then they look back. This is when she has the aha moment of, I could scroll and look at what he sent her.
Yeah.
And she goes,
yeah.
I looked up and I found out the auntie is at the Sonesta Suites. That's the airdress. That is the airdress.
Airdress. I was like, did she just say airdress?
She sure did. And she said it more than once because I thought sometimes, we talk
you mispronounce a word.
jobs.
Yeah.
And it works. Sometimes it gets jumbled in your mouth, and you don't mean to say it that way. But she said it airdress 3 times.
Yeah, yeah. You say it, and you're like, oh, I flubbed that up. And so you correct yourself. I've been known to do that numerous times.
Same.
But this bitch said it multiple times. She said airdress.
So they got the airdress of the Sonesta Suites, and they call Auntie, and she's like, hello.
Yeah.
It's always like this. Like, is Auntie also a man? Like, why is her voice so low?
I have lots of questions about Auntie. I really, why is there a cover up of her voice?
And her name and everything else. So she was like, fuck no, don't put me on this TV show. I did not agree to this. I didn't know he was filming a show, and no.
I mean, I can understand her not wanting her name, but her voice. Like, does she think all these people are going to hear her voice and immediately know who she is?
Well, her boyfriend's name is Licitrus, and that's not a common name.
Okay, you've got a point.
So she's going to be like, people I know watched it and was like, hey, wait, my friend had a guy named Licitrus that got out of prison. Now, wait a minute. He was banging this other girl? What?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, so she's like, just don't get me involved in this mess.
I guess so. But still give me my $500 gift certificate to Walmart.
I need my $500 Amazon gift card. Can you give it to me for Kmart? Is Kmart still a thing? Is Kmart still around?
I don't think so. I miss Kmart. They used to have that really cute. When I was pregnant with Skylar, they had that Martha Stewart baby line. Cute stuff from there.
I remember that. Kmart also had they had like the Jacqueline Smith collection. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Yeah, we are really showing our ages right now. We really, really are. While we're talking about Raneka showing our ages right now, we are showing our ages right now.
Do you remember that show,
For real.
Charlie's Angels?
I do. Well, so I remember the reruns of it.
Of course you did, because you're too. Yeah, I watched it when it was like must see TV. Like you got to be sitting in front of your TV on a Tuesday night, 7:00 to see it. Yeah, or you're gonna miss it, and it won't be on ever again. That was the one episode. You got to wait for the summer for the rerun.
I was gonna say I remember it coming on like the reruns in the summer times. Yeah, I do.
Everybody identified with one of the Charlie's Angels, and just like I did with everything ever in my life, I always identified with the one that I thought wouldn't get the most attention, so I'd have a chance. So I always identified with Kate, because she had like the short hair and wasn't like blonde and cute. So I was always like, when you had to like, when you're playing with your friends, like I'll be Kate Jackson. And I also used to do that with like band members. I'd be like, okay, I'll take the least cutest one in the band, because then I might have a chance.
I kind of did the same thing too.
But my hot friends are going to get the lead singer, but I'll go for bass player number 2, because then I'll have a chance. Yeah.
See, now you really got me thinking about me being a kid and summer shows. I was totally obsessed with Gidget.
Sally Field? Gidget?
Yes.
Oh,
that would come on when I was a little kid.
Never saw it.
What?
Never saw Gidget. I mean, Sally Field's like 80 years old, so that wasn't even in my time. That was probably barely my mother's time. That was like a Bewitched kind of a rerun.
Yeah, and I used to absolutely love watching Gidget.
I loved Bewitched, and I loved I Dream of Jeannie.
Those two. But I lived for Gidget.
Yeah. Interesting. I never seen an episode. Hey all, are you hoping to budget your food expenses this fall? Get more bang for your bite with America's best value meal kit. That's Every Plate. Every Plate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping with no hidden fees, so you can count on great value week after week, plus only pay for what you need with pre-portioned ingredients. That is what I love so much about Every Plate. They literally send you exactly what you need. You know how you get a recipe and it says you need this much of a chopped onion and this much of this, and you end up with like 3 onions in your fridge that you didn't need. Not with Every Plate. They send you the 1 onion, so you don't need like 1.5. Or if they send you like you need a teaspoon of basil, well then you went to the store and bought this whole thing of basil that goes bad in your fridge. Not with Every Plate. That's why I love the pre-portioned ingredients, y'all. It makes it so easy. You're going to make the sustainable choice this September. Every Plate offsets 100% of their delivery emissions, and their meals have a 31% lower carbon footprint on average than supermarket meals of the same portion. Plus, nearly all of the packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas of the U.S. Yes, that's what we do. I put it right by the door, and it goes right out when my son goes out to take out the recycling. So, you guys, I'm telling you, Every Plate is the freaking way to go. Get $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast. Enter code 49 pinkshade. That is correct. Get $1.49 per meal. So get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/pinkshade and enter code 49 pinkshade. Okay, do you have that? everyplate.com/pinkshade and enter code 49 pinkshade to get your meals for $1.49. That's up to $110 value.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, let's move on from TV shows. Let's go to Andy and Brittany. And
I'm pissed off about this shit.
Yeah, it was sad about the daughter. It's real sad.
Well, no, I'm pissed off because I actually felt bad for Andy.
Oh, well, that too, when we get to the end. Yeah, me too. Well, you're pissed because you felt bad for Andy, because you don't want to have to feel bad for Andy, right?
Ever in life. Ever. Yeah.
So she says, I'm looking forward to getting to the hotel, getting cleaned up, and get to go to my son's birthday party. You know, my kids are my first priority, and they're my number one goal. And then she says, I know Gracie has been through the most with me, and she's very angry. And then she tells us she's not on any kind of papers or parole at all.
That's great.
She's nothing holding her back, so she doesn't have to check in with anybody or anything. Right. Like, she did her time and that's it. So that's good, at least.
That's really good. The only thing holding her back is Andy. now.
Right. But I do say because she was in prison on drug charges and stuff, I wish that she did at least like for a year have to check in with a counselor for some drug test or something. I wish.
Yeah, that's very unusual
Yeah.
to just be completely off papers. Oh, and that reminds me, I do have a little bit of Andy gossip too.
Oh, let's hear it.
So you remember a while back I told you that Andy was still married and how his wife kind of like called him out like, okay, motherfucker, you know we're still married and you're all with this girl Brittany on a television show. So earlier this week, Andy did go ahead and file for divorce. So his wife Mindy, she was like, great, I'm with that. I want the divorce too. The only thing that I'm asking for is I want my maiden name back. So then she goes on to Facebook and in all caps, she goes, thank you. I officially, as of today, shed 425 pounds.
Now, come on now. He doesn't weigh 425. Now, come on now.
I love the exaggeration. I really, really do. So Andy trying to be petty, but he doesn't know how to be petty because he's fucking Andy. He goes,
he's so corny.
He is. He goes, well, today I shed 125 pounds. Huh?
Ooh, good comeback.
Ooh. He's such a goober. I swear. Like he thought he went so hard and just, Andy, stop.
He's got so many bad one-liners. It's just like.
He really does. He needs to come to me and I can teach him how to be petty and cruel and I'm going to charge him, of course, but
yeah.
He needs some help.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
he does. So they arrive at the hotel and Brittany's like, they're walking into the hotel and Brittany's like, oh, they have a pool. Will you jump in the pool with me? And he's like,
why?
Okay. I don't know. I guess she's just like, I'm free. I'd like to jump in the pool in my clothes. I don't know.
No, there's nothing appealing about that to me. You gotta be cold and you gotta walk through the hotel.
I know. People at that Holiday Inn Express were like, what the fuck?
And poor Barry, how many times he's gonna have to hold those damn flowers? I'm sure he's like, can someone else hold these flowers? Like it's someone else's turn.
I'm walking around holding a vase. There's water sloshing all over me. Yeah. So they jump in the pool while Gracie and Barry, who don't even want to be friends, have to sit awkwardly together in the lobby. So they get to the room and, they're soaking wet and she hugs him and says, it's very sweet. She sees all the stuff on the bed and she sees the phone. She's like, oh my gosh, the phone. She's the bear. And he's like, he goes into this whole thing about like, well, it was going to be $1,200, but it's $500 and I need $600, but $400 to come from the bank. There was fraud in my account. So I'm going to get you that $200 and then I'll get you the other $500. That'll make $1,200. I was like, what? No.
A negative balance because you didn't have the money is not fraud, Andy. Okay, just stop. He's such a liar and he's so. You didn't have the money.
And you're all about this $1,200. I was like, okay.
The bitch just got out of prison. Just give her $500. Okay, I mean,
give her a 20. She'd be thrilled.
She'd be happy with that. Like, I was so hoping that he fell when he got out of that pool and was walking through the hotel, and just the thought of watching him get up, that would have gave me life right there.
Well, he also has a little thing that you get from Kohl's with the diamond earrings and the matching pendant, like diamond. Yeah. And so that was nice. And he shows her that they made this cake. So shows the cake. Oh, that is so nice. You are so sweet. Oh my God. Yeah. So then Gracie comes in. It's like, can I come in? He goes, yeah, sure. So Gracie goes into the bathroom with her mom, who I guess has gotten some dry clothes and is trying to change in there, I guess.
Yeah, it's the clothes from the boutique. Remember?
Oh, that's right. When he went shopping. That's right. But
those clothes looked like way too big for Brittany when he like pulled out the t-shirt.
The t-shirt she was wearing fit her just fine.
Well, it was the t-shirt that he pulled out of the bag.
Oh, well, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I was like, that looks way too big for her.
I was just concerned about them standing dripping, soaking wet on that hotel carpet. I was like, go stand on the tile. That's gross. Yeah.
I agree.
So, Gracie goes in the bathroom and they close the door. And Gracie, you could tell, is kind of doing that teenager.
Yeah.
She's doing that
Yeah.
teenager thing. And she's like, Mom, I just want to be with you, Mom. And I'm just so tired. And Brittany is like being stern with her. She was like, I told you what today was going to be like. And so they're having this back and forth. Now, you have to think there's a lot of things at play here. Number one, they're filming them.
Yes.
And I think when she's saying, I told you what today was going to be like I told you these cameras are going to be here until 6 o'clock. And then after that, we can act like ourselves or whatever.
Right.
But Gracie wasn't prepared for all this. And she's like, I told you what today's going to be like. We're not going to do this. And I understand that you want, to have all my time, but we can't because I've got to see Andy, got to see the other kids. And then Andy is kind of shushing around the room, getting things organized. And he turns to the camera guy and goes, y'all don't need to be catching this. I know you're running those cameras. Turn them off. And I was like, well, that was nice of him. He doesn't want to embarrass Gracie, I think. I think that was nice.
It was so many things going on in this scene, and I didn't know how to feel about any of it. Because I would feel one way, and then I would go over to feeling the other way. I'm not sure how to feel about Gracie. I don't know how to feel about her. I feel sorry for her 1 second, and then the next second, I'm like, is there something wrong with her? You know what I mean?
I think she's just a teenager under major duress, and now the cameras are watching it.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel a whole bunch of different things. I'm like, she knows what's going on. I don't know. And then 1 minute I get Brittany, and then the next minute I'm like, why can't you just give her a hug? I'm like, is she being too hard on her? Then I'm like, Andy's being nice, but then I'm like, Andy, why don't you move out of the way? Give them their space. I kept going back and forth. It was just a lot of it was a lot of things in that scene that I felt.
And I think the cameras they're really added to it because they also don't know what to do. So they're like looking over at the producer, like, what should we do? Should we,
Yeah.
So they come out of the bathroom, and Gracie looks at him and goes, can you just leave for a minute so we could talk? He goes, yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, no problem. Yep. So he walks out and just walks out. He doesn't have all the stuff he needs or anything. He's like, oh, yeah, sure. So he walks out, and then she's saying to her mom, she goes, I didn't sleep at all last night, and I stood in the sun with dead balloons and flowers in a vase for 3 hours. And you say I'm being selfish. And Brittany's like, I understand. We're all tired. I didn't sleep either. I was so excited. And Gracie just cries and goes, I just want to be around you. And I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired, Mom. And I know you're frustrated. And Brittany goes, Gracie, I'm not frustrated. I'm super excited. I didn't sleep either. But my goal is to get to the party so all of us can be together. That's my goal. And then they kind of go back and forth, and Gracie kind of calms down. And Brittany tells her, I don't ever know what I would do without you. You're my number one. You're my favorite child. You're my number one. And then Brittany tells us that her kids, when she was arrested for drugs, her kids were taken and put in foster care. And Gracie immediately became the mother and the nurturer to the kids. I guess at the time she was like 16. But the dad went to court and got them back. And she said, I was not a mother. I was an addict. So I don't know if she's saying the court saw me not as a mother, as an addict, or she is saying herself, I could not be a mother because I was an addict. I couldn't tell how she was trying to.
That's kind of how I took it. And so they all have the same dad. It's what I got.
That was also
that was surprising. We don't usually see that on this show. I needed half a Xanax after this scene. It was just so I didn't know how to feel. I felt
you felt
so
for
many
both
different
of them.
things.
Yeah,
I did, and I was like, how would I respond? Like if this was me and Skylar? Just it was a lot. It was a lot.
And you have to think too, because he refers to it later about the time crunch they're under. Right? They've got to leave at this certain time. They have a 2-hour drive, and they got to go. They got to get to the party, and then now they're wasting time with production doing this stuff, and then they have to go do They have to go do the stand-ups outside, and
And I'm like, Brittany just probably wants a fucking nap.
Oh my
a shower
God.
and a nap and a good meal. And it was a lot going
that
on.
pool doesn't count, by the way, as a shower.
No, it really didn't. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
So Brittany tells us when she's telling us about the kids being in foster care and stuff, she says, I need to spend all the time I have left, like fixing and mending my relationships with my children, because this is my last chance with them.
Right.
So they're getting ready, and it's a 2-hour drive, and they go outside, and she says, okay, so you go back up to the room and get the stuff that I kicked you out that you could have brought down, but you didn't. So go back to the room and get it. And they open up the trunk, and I said, Andy's got a trunk of dead balloons. He needs to just take them and throw
Give
them
it
in the
up.
trash. Give it
Yeah.
up. They're all dead,
Mm-mm.
laying there like,
Yeah.
"Brr."
He's acting like those balloons are, were dipped in gold. Like he cannot give up on them. Like all the hope in the world rests with those balloons.
I think
Andy.
he got the grocery store balloons, and he got them like the day before. So of course they were already dead because he didn't sprinkle like the
Yeah.
helium ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Give it
Also,
up.
you're just killing all the turtles. Quit letting balloons out into the world.
Yes, I agree.
Or your dog. Well, we walked down the street. It may have been like right after 4th of July, and had the dogs on a walk. And on the sidewalk, there was all these like popped little pieces of balloon all over the sidewalk. Now,
No.
Ginger will eat a worm, a bird, a remote control. She don't care. She'd love to eat a balloon. She'll eat a half broken egg on the concrete. She didn't care. She'll eat anything.
No.
She's disgusting. She would be loving that possum that's in your yard. She'd be all over that shit.
Oh, God.
So of course she thought a balloon looked like the greatest thing ever. I mean, I almost got my hand bitten off trying to get that out of her mouth.
No.
I was like, come here, girl. You can't eat that balloon. I was like, that's going to go in her little belly and kill her.
And my dogs are complete and total snobs. They won't eat anything.
Oh, they wouldn't mess with the balloon.
Nothing. No, we don't have to. We can leave anything out unless it's food. They won't touch it, and then they sniff food and see if it's proper before they eat that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the opposite of what's happening. These are my one remaining pair of glasses right here that I'm showing you. Because if you've got a pair of glasses anywhere within Violet's reach, it's on.
She's gonna chew them.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of dogs, justice for Archie.
I know.
I just got to put that out there. Justice for Archie.
I know. Y'all were talking about Shannon Bedore's dog, Archie, because she got her DUI and had that accident. And that dog was in the car. And if you've seen footage of the accident, there's no way that Archie didn't fly into the dashboard.
And then she used him.
Oh, I'm just going to walk my dog.
Yeah.
Just walking Archie.
We are thinking about you. You are in our prayers. And I think that he needs some therapy. I really do.
I know.
And
I said that after they took her to the station or wherever, that they took the dog to John Jansen.
And I think that he should sue Shannon. I think
Archie
he's got a
should?
lawsuit. Yeah, I think he should. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he should sue the bar where she was. Yeah. I think he's got a lawsuit on his hands.
Archie. All right. So now we see Andy. Andy's in the car with Barry. And he says, well, I think today gone pretty good. I done got my third win, and we're going over to this birthday party and give them this awesome cake and party hardy.
Well, why did Barry even have to come?
He's an emotional support friend for Andy. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I done got my third wind. Is just as bad as air dress. Okay? Okay.
No, it's not. No.
It's pretty bad.
No. It's bad, but it is not as bad as air dress.
So he done got his third win. They're going to party hardy at the birthday party.
He's so excited.
He's very excited to be included.
Yes, he is.
And they talk about Barry, and he's like, how'd you like meeting Britt? And he goes, she's nice. She's nice.
Yeah.
And then he goes, she seems real smiley and real he makes fun of her laughing.
Yeah. And when she smiles, she shows all 5,000 of her teeth.
I know.
Every single tooth she shows it.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, do you agree with what I said? Lots of pictures had her with braces, but I don't think they worked. Or she didn't wear her headgear. She didn't wear her retainers.
I think that she just got the braces put on and that was it. There was no routine checkups or anything like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. I think that's a great point. So Andy says, getting on this drive to the party, was not on time. And I think that was caused by Gracie and Brittany having that conversation in the bathroom. My mom was like, could y'all have that conversation in the car? Because we're not on time. And he says, hopefully they talked about whatever they need to talk about on the drive, get that out of their system so that when we, she'll come home with me later.
I mean, it was rude, but he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
So now they arrive at the place where the party is. This is in Hartwell. And as they're in Hartwell, and you notice that she's got the window down the whole, I was thinking like she had her arm out the window smoking, but she wasn't. She just wanted to feel that.
Feel the air. Yeah.
Feel that
the wind.
That free air. So
Yeah.
she says, as she's looking around, she's like, I know every street, every house, everything about this town. Like, this is my town. And
Right.
I really feel like this is my home and I should be here. But I know it's not a good place for me. I know that I need to be in Rome with Andy for a fresh start. But, it's 2 hours difference. And I think, but she already said the cops know her there by the back of her head. So I don't think it's a good place for her. I
Now,
agree.
let me ask you, do you think that, I'm sure there's some truth to that, but do you think that no other relative would let her live with them?
Oh, I'm sure there's probably plenty of relatives that would let her, but she's like, I've got this new guy who's really loves me, wants to take care of me, and so she's got to go with a man. A man's got to
Well,
help you.
But she's 2 hours away from her kids, and she got little kids.
Well, she's not allowed to see him anyway, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Is
she's
she
just
not
like,
allowed
Andy's
to
got
see him?
I don't know. She's like, Andy's got a nice car. I could just borrow that once a week and go see him. I don't know. We're going to find out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So she says, I wish I could be there with all my kids, but it takes time. It won't happen overnight. So I know the best thing for me is to have a fresh start, So they get to the party and she jumps out because they're late. We don't know if they're 20 minutes late, 2 hours late. We don't
Right.
know. And so she grabs the gifts like, thank you. And he's like, well, here, let me give
Yeah.
you the cake that I put in the Mr. Coffee box. And she's like, that's
Yeah.
awesome. You're so awesome. Thank you. Now just stay out here for a few hours. You can't meet them. Walks off.
And just walks off like a total fucking bitch. I'm like, who do you think you are, me? Like, it was super bitchy and super rude.
It was so abrupt.
Yes, it was.
She doesn't even say, I hope you don't mind, but I really think this.
Right.
And I should have told you before, but I just thought about it while I was
Right.
talking to Gracie. She could have given a 1-minute explanation.
She gave zero fucks about his feelings, period, point blank.
Stay out here for a few hours. You can't meet them. And he
Yeah.
goes, really? Really? And she just walks
Yeah.
off.
She didn't give him not even a moment to react. She didn't care. She didn't apologize. Just, it was nothing.
It was nothing. And my question is, why did she make him drive all the way there? That's rude.
They could have stayed at the hotel.
They could have put that shit in Gracie's car and he and Barry could have gone shopping or something.
Yeah, anything but just standing there like two fucking goobers on the sidewalk like they were doing.
I know. They just stood like, well, we're just going to hold up this wall here for a few hours. And Andy, because he's so goofy and corny, he's like, well, I'm sure I'll meet them soon, right around the corner. Yep, sooner than anybody expects, I'm sure. I just hope she's having a good time. I hope she's going to have a good time in there.
I don't think he was hoping she was having the time of her life. I think he was hoping she fell on her face in there with the cake.
I hope she's out there like, who made this cake? Oh, these two guys standing in the parking lot. I mean, And do you think Gracie is like, what? Do you think Gracie's walking around going, y'all gotta get a load of that guy in the parking lot. Look out the window.
No shit. I bet she was like, get a load of those two boys over there. Like, you have no fucking idea. Yeah, that I felt bad for Andy. And I never want to feel bad for Andy. Ever, 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 ever in life. But I did.
I agree. I did.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him too.
Yeah.
Even though he weighs 425 pounds. That's so awful that she said that. I mean, it's funny because it's Andy, but come on now. Come on
But that lets you know how much she absolutely hates him.
She added over 100 pounds to his weight.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she hates Andy with all her might. She really does.
Well, he was married to her and went on a show trying to date an inmate. So that's, you could see.
Yeah, and plus he's Andy.
I know, bless him.
Yeah.
So here's the thing too. Every so often I get a little glimpse of him and I think, he has potential to be cute.
Well, I mean, Barry looks just like him, and I think Barry's cute.
Yeah.
But, like, Andy's personality just sucks.
Well, yes, yeah. That is just
and it takes away from it.
So corny.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to my new best friend, Sheree and Anthony. Okay.
Not
I love Sheree.
He by Sheree. It's she by Sheree. I have to quote Andy Cohen every time I think about her name.
Andy, have you seen the She News? Here's my She Newsletter.
I know, yes. The She News, yes.
So Sheree and her son Richie are doing a TikTok dance. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. Will you send that to Aunt's phone? Yeah. And he pulls up on his phone where he's going to send it, and he has it saved as Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And we think, oh no, we don't like
Here
that.
we
We
go
don't
again.
like,
Yep.
we don't
Mm-hmm.
like it when
Yep.
you start getting your kids
Yep.
to, we don't like it.
And
So
they do it every time.
she goes, that's so sweet. It gives daddy coming home. I love that for us.
Oh,
She is so
God.
crazy. That's why I like her.
Yes, she is crazy.
She has
Yeah.
no
Her and those
self-awareness.
edges, not
Yeah.
a drop at all.
In her confessional, her wig situation is on point.
It looks
good.
great.
Looks
Yes,
great.
it looks great in her confessionals. Yes, I agree.
So her son Richie, who is 10, is such a sweet baby angel, and he
Yes.
says, it's just been the two of us. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard that it's going to be somebody else living with us, but it's also exciting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Sheree says, do you think it's going to be weird to have a dad and a stepdad? Because, Anthony is my husband. We are legally married. Oink. And she says, and Richie says, no, I think it's great to have a dad and a stepdad. I think it's great. And I dream of them meeting, and I hope they'll have a great relationship. And she's like, okay. And then Sheree tells Richie, you're my number one priority. Like, no matter what happens, you're number one. And I like that. I like that when they assure the child,
Right.
I'm not going to ditch you for this man.
Right.
So, I mean, Sheree's a professional, and I'm really just like hoping for the best. I am.
But they always disappoint us because it's like
I
as soon as
know.
the guy comes home, all the common sense goes straight out the window. Like
And he's
immediately.
been in for 6 years, and if he's not on the Keisha plan of getting to bang for at least 1 year.
They never, ever let them do it. Nope.
They never let them do
I mean,
it.
and this is the person with the fake marriage certificate. Remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we see a lot of photos of Sheree and her son Richie visiting Aunt in prison, which was something I don't love to see. And we hear Aunt on the phone saying he thinks the dad, Rich, yes, Richie has a dad, Rich, but I think he could do more for his son, and I'd like to talk to him about it. Well, here's what he's doing for his son. He's not in prison. So that's the first thing.
And then he said that he doesn't like the fact that Rich slacks off because now he's in his because you're doing what behind bars? You're attributing by doing what?
Right.
I'm like, okay, we're starting off really, really, really bad already.
Yeah, and you don't need to be criticizing the dad that's not in prison.
Not in prison. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because at least the dad can give him a fucking hug.
That's
like
right.
you can't do that at all. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the little boy's sweet, and he's
I'm
cute. Sensing he's got a little bit more sense than his mom in several ways already.
Well, he was just real sweet. He's like, I love you, Mom. And I just, always, me, I'm all mushy for a little boy all the time.
Well, then he also told his mom that it wasn't a good idea for, her to invite his dad to Aunt's welcome home party. He's like, yeah, well, that's good.
Everybody thinks that. I mean, come on, you don't need a 10-year-old to tell you that.
Right.
So she's getting ready to head out to go pick him up. And she is in a very ill-fitting skirt and top. You want to talk about clothes that don't fit.
And here's the thing. She could look very nice if she wore like size appropriate clothing. This just was wrong in every way.
And imagine if she would have had on like a support bra. Like her boobs would have looked great.
Yeah.
But she had them all flattened down in that top. It wasn't good.
No. And then the back.
Oh. It's okay to admit that you need a bigger size clothes. And I say just because you can put it on doesn't mean it fits.
No. Especially when you're having to tuck and squeeze and
yeah, it wasn't good.
And I'm sure when she sat down in that car, she wasn't comfortable in those.
No, I can't believe all the buttons didn't pop off.
No, they were holding on for dear life, I'm sure.
They showed her shoes. And she was like, these shoes are giving sexy. I was like, they are giving all your toes are on the concrete.
She said they were giving class. And I think she mistake class for ass. Like,
let's see, what'd she say? She said, they are giving boss, they are giving diva, they are giving aunt's wife.
Girl,
that's what she said.
They were looking like they look cheap, for one. They were giving very cheap, like the heel might break. or
She by
something like
Sheen.
that.
Yeah.
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 Go.
Listen,
That's a
I
good
don't
one there,
don't I don't
Tank.
I don't I don't I don't hate on Sheen, but yeah. So,
I'm not gonna buy shoes from Sheen. Like I'll buy clothes from Sheen, but I don't feel confident enough in Sheen's quality of shoes. Like I
not if I'm
just
gonna have to stand up or walk anywhere. No.
no, 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 no,
No.
no, no, no. Mm-mm.
So she talks to her friend Sunny on the phone as she's going, and
Mm.
she was like, "Oh, I'm going to pick him up. It's going to be so great." And then they laugh about how bad Sheree snores. And I said, "Girl, get a CPAP." And she laughs like, "Maybe that's why all my relationships has failed because I snore so bad." I was like,
It,
"Girl,
it, it,
get a CPAP, get a breathe right. You can fix it."
now, I thought that was hilarious because when James and I first got together, it caused issues with his snoring. Like it was
Yeah,
bad. I had a lot of
yeah.
sleepless nights because it was
Me too. I've had that.
horrible. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I felt that in that moment. Yeah. I agreed. It can be bad. It can be bad.
I have with both feet like a bunny rabbit kicked Dave in the back, like hoping to hit a
Yeah.
kidney or something, like
Yeah.
hoping to injure him, give him bodily harm, hoping. Like I
And,
hope
and
I
then
really
they
hurt you while you sleep. I'm so
and
pissed
then they
off.
always think that it's not that bad. So one time I recorded James snoring and I
Hmm.
changed it to his ringtone.
You took it one step too far, but that's okay. I like it.
And it went off during a meeting at his job. And I was like, I just need for you to realize how bad this situation has become. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bad.
it's really,
Yeah,
really bad.
it's really bad.
Dave did a sleep study and they, whatever, and they recommended a CPAP. He never did it. But because he is now a sober person and has been for over 9 years, that has gotten a lot better. He
Mm.
does still snore sometimes, but my understanding is I've gotten older that I snore. That's what
Oh.
I've been told. So what's my excuse? I don't know. I just am old and have bad sinuses. Do I have to get another sinus surgery? I don't know.
And so James has lost weight. So his
That
is
helps.
nowhere near where it is. But like you, I've been told now that I snore, but I have really bad sinuses and allergies. And there's
Mhm.
nothing I can do about that. It's not my fault. So deal with it.
Do you ever wake yourself up? You're like, and you scare yourself. You're like, who's that? Oh, it's me. I do.
I think we should just move along with the show,
Okay.
Mary Payne.
Okay. All right. So then, after we talked to Sunny on the phone about the CPAP, she heads to the drop off area, and I
Mm.
were just she's just yelling up the top of her lungs like, "Wow, my man!
Yeah.
Wow!"
Mama's coming home to pick you up to take you home. Mama's on the way. Mama's on the way. I'm
I
like,
just love how she
stop.
was talking about her son. She was like, "It's giving daddy's coming home. It's giving my baby." And she's like, "Giving boss, giving diva, giving wife." I just, I
Too
find
many
her
titles.
hilarious. I just
Too many
find her
titles.
hilarious. I find her hilarious. So then in her talking head, she says, "Yeah, of course I know there's, risk with this. And,
Mhm.
one of the risk is my son, Richie, because he's gotten very close
Yes.
to Aunt, goes to me to visit him. And I have to tell you that if something happened with Aunt and we broke up or we got divorced, LOL, we're not married.
Right.
If anything ever happened and we broke up, my son Richie's heart would be broken. So I really have to think about more than myself here. I was like, well, too late. How many years are you into this? Too
And
late.
she also said that he is such a good role model for her son.
Right. That's when we saw the pictures of his role model from prison pictures. Yeah.
And I'm like, role model? I'm like, your son needs to be a fucking mentor for him. What are you talking about? It's like, what the
This is my mentor, Richie Jr.
like, like, this bitch is crazy. Like, come
Oh my
on.
God. So a white van drives up. She's like, wow! She screams some more and then he gets out. So we'll see what happens next week.
He
All
was
right,
like,
now
baby,
let's
calm
go.
down, calm down. Calm down a little bit.
Let's go to a quick scene. We got a Chelsea. So Chelsea of Chelsea and Mikey is telling us
Mhm.
that she has the three kids. She has Corey, 15, Audrey, 14. That's from one dad. And then she has Trevor, who's 11. And we saw him last time she was on too. So
And I
she and
don't think she
Trevor,
has the older two kids.
you mean there's 5 kids?
No, 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 the older two.
Oh, Corey and okay, I thought you meant 2
Uh-huh.
more. I was like, what? I said
Uh-uh.
Corey and Audrey. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think they live with their dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Because supposedly she wasn't a very good mom.
Or the dad is like, no fucking way my kids are going on this show. And Trevor
Well,
doesn't
I
have a
heard
dad,
some
so she can make
bad
her
stuff.
decision. I've
Yeah.
heard some things as well, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm sure we both saw it on the Reddit.
Mhm.
So she's messing around with Trevor in the car, and she's like, I'm driving with my knees. So
Yeah.
because when the phone rings and she talks to Mikey, she has to sign with
Yeah.
her hands.
Right.
So she drives with her knees while signing with her hands and punching Trevor. Yeah.
She's doing a lot.
Doing a lot driving this car. So she's talking to Mikey on the phone, like, I'm taking to Trevor to wrestling or whatever. And then she says Trevor doesn't have a dad in real life, so he's really loved getting to know, Mikey from behind prison.
Mm-hmm.
She tells us Mikey is her dream man, and he has learned to sign. And we see all the clips of him learning to sign. And she says that really won my heart because somebody that actually learned to sign so they could communicate. And I got to say, that does go a long way.
I mean, he's got the time.
That's a great point.
Yeah, he's got the time. Yeah.
Like we see David and Sheila on 90 Day, and David is deaf, and Sheila really never really tried to learn. So it's American Sign Language, which I guess, Filipino Tagalog Sign Language is different. So she had to learn American Sign Language. So she's translating it twice. So I think that is pretty hard.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. But of course, if you watched it, the lady the little girl that they brought in for the translator, she was like, yeah, I learned American Sign Language just to speak foreign language. I learned American Sign Language this is a Filipino girl. She goes, I learned American Sign Language in 1 month. It's not hard. Like, shut up.
Shit. Well, aren't you special then?
Yeah, well, good.
I could learn it in a month.
I speak American, and I probably couldn't learn it in a month. I only know this one. When you rub your chest, that means more, I think.
Look, we're trying to just get Raneka to say address correctly.
I think maybe this means, I think rub your chest in a circle means sorry. I think I learned that on the bear. Right? Don't they do this? Sorry?
I just know this.
That's a heart. And then I think if you touch your chin, that means more.
And more? It is. I remember that from when my little brother was doing sign language. When he was little.
You try to teach the babies more. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, guys, that's it. We know
look
as
at
much
us.
as
look at us.
Look at us. So, all right. So she's messing around with Trevor in the car, and she says Mikey's her dream man. He learned sign language, won her heart. He's coming home in 2 days. 2 days. So now she's talking to her friend Beth as the kids are doing their wrestling practice. And
Beth and her fake sign language.
Beth is just waving the right hand around.
She literally just does this. Like she does.
If you guys can see Keisha is flashing like 2, 1, 3, 5, 2.
Yeah, that's all she does. You are not fooling anyone with your fake sign language. Like,
oh my God, that is so funny. Oh. So we do know that she reads lips. So yeah,
right, yeah.
Right. So she's reading Beth's lips and going, "Quit waving that right hand around. We know you don't know what you're doing."
Right?
So then she reminds us she's only met him in person that one time that she went when he had that stroke or whatever, which we all thought was a lie, but it turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And we find out that Mikey is also going deaf and has a hearing aid.
Isn't that just the weirdest shit? Like,
why didn't we know that before? Why didn't we know that before?
We did. It happened the last season they were on. We just didn't believe it.
We don't believe anything anybody says on these shows.
We really don't. It was just like, what are the chances of this being true? We thought it was
like David and Sheila. Sheila has a hearing aid too because she said that when she was young, she poked a broom in her ear. A broom.
What show is that from? 90 Day?
90 Day the other way. She's nope, wrong. 90 Day before the 90 days. Sorry, 90 Day before the 90 days. She said she poked a broom in her ear. And so upon like watching it more and more, we're like, we think maybe that's just something her parents told her.
We're just these people lying.
How could you have poked a broom in your ear? Or maybe broom means something else there. Maybe it was like a hand broom or anyway, whatever. She stuck something in her ear and made her go deaf in one ear.
We hear so many lies on these shows.
Or is that true? I don't know. So, all right. Mikey's going deaf, and when he takes his hearing aid out, she was like, when he took his hearing aid out, he couldn't hear either. But, he's doing great with the sign language. And Chelsea tells Beth, I've been a virgin for 4 years. And then they joke about the one pump and all that. And then she tells us in her talking head, she goes, Mikey doesn't know this, but I'm not ready for sex yet. It's going to be many months until I'm ready to have sex with him. And I don't know how he'll feel about that.
He's not going to be happy. I
He's
can
been
tell
in
you
prison for
that.
4 years. It's not going to be a happy time.
Oh, no.
Why do you
No.
think she feels that way?
I don't know. And I
Because
don't
they're
think she's
always
going to
so
last
horny
that
for
long.
they're always so
Yeah.
horny for each other. Everybody
I don't
is on
think
the
she's
show.
going to last 4 to 6 months. There's no way. No.
So then she says she's not sure if when she goes to get him, he's going to be able to come home with her.
Right.
He's on parole for 3 years. He has to start off doing this homestay at his sister Courtney's house in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I believe his sister Courtney is the one who introduced them in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
How she
She's the
met her,
matchmaker.
I don't know. Ohio, Kentucky, I don't know. So, right? Aren't they in Ohio? I can't remember where she lives. I think it's Ohio. So she's got to do he has to do the homestay at Courtney's. And she's not sure if in that time for 3 years, if he'll be able to leave the county. But that seems like that's something you would have found out by now.
You
But
think?
now Mikey, she's packing. She's with her friend or sister. I don't know who the hell this person is.
It's her friend who really does know sign language.
This friend does use both hands and really talks. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, remember last time we saw she had her bed pushed up against that wall with the curtain behind it that was the closet.
Uh-huh.
Now, she shifted the bed to another wall so she can get in the closet. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes a lot more sense, too.
Uh-huh. And she says she needs 8 to 9 outfits and 10 shoes.
Yeah.
And then she says, yeah, I got to go talk to my mom. You know, I've gotten way closer to my mom lately. As I've gotten older, we had a rocky relationship when I was young, but lately I've gotten really close to my mom, and she's my best friend.
Right.
Dad won't talk to me anymore because he's upset that I'm dating an inmate. We get a flash of Dad saying she's stupid.
Do you remember that her dad never, learned sign language?
He's talking very with his mouth so she can read his lips. Yeah, Dad didn't know sign language at all.
I don't know why that just makes me laugh to know that, your child's been deaf all her life and you just, nah, there's no reason for me to learn sign language.
David, on Before the 90 Days, his parents sent him to a very fancy, expensive boarding school from when he was little, 4th grade to 12th grade, a boarding school that was just for the deaf, where he made all his lifelong friends and had a real community of people. And then, of course, once he was done with high school, they were throw you out in the world. And they never taught him to read lips because I think you either can or you can't. I think it's pretty rare.
Wow.
And they threw him out into the speaking world. His parents never learned sign language, anything. So
That's
he never
crazy.
Isn't that crazy? They never had could ever communicate with their child other than texting or writing or hoping he could understand them by just waving their hands around like Beth.
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy?
It's really, you don't understand that at all. No.
Yeah. It seems like you need to communicate with your child by any means necessary.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. So Dad's upset with her and doesn't talk to her anymore. So she visits her mom every day at the cemetery, which was a strange twist.
It really was. I'm like, oh, that went dark.
It sure did.
Yeah.
She said her mom passed away in October of 2022. So less than a year ago. So, whenever they filmed this, it had been, way less than a year.
Yeah.
And she said her mom had health problems for many years, but in the later years of life, her mom really was her backbone and her rock. And she says, I text my mom all the time because her phone is still on. So I text her all the time. And she said, my mom died and Mikey was so supportive and so wonderful and there for me. And then his mom died 6 weeks later and we get flashbacks of his mom.
I know.
Keisha.
This is a lot. This is a lot.
How sad were you? Because that mom was so sweet.
I know. I really liked his mom. I was like, God damn, shit.
Remember when we met Mom and Grandma and they were super fun sitting on that porch?
Yeah.
And they were like, you're so pretty. And they loved her so much.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming Mikey couldn't go to his mom's funeral.
Yeah. Yeah. Or she would have been able to go to and seen him there because she said she hadn't seen him.
I know.
That's a lot. That's traumatic.
That was a lot.
So she says, being that her mom died, who she had just gotten close to in the later years of her life, and then his mom died and he was in prison, really brought them closer. And, strangely like it brought them closer. Okay, so
Right.
maybe their situation will work. I don't know.
I
All right,
hope.
let's go to our final couple, which is Melissa and Louie. Louie!
Louie, Louie's coming home with me. Yay!
Yay, sparkle hands.
Spirit fingers.
Now, do you think a lot of this between Donna and Melissa and Louie, a lot of this is just like for the show? It's all, don't you think it's all like pumped up for the show? Like, okay, Donna, make sure you're real bitchy to Melissa. Melissa, act real eye rolly to Donna. Don't you think?
No, I think no.
I do.
I think that is 100% Donna's personality.
Yeah, but I think they're amping it up for the cameras.
Really?
For comedic effect. Yeah, I do.
Well, it's
I do.
working.
It's
It's
working.
working. Yeah.
So Donna stands outside of her house waiting to get picked up in her super bitch hat. And Melissa's in that truck going to pick her up. And as she drives up, of course, Donna's like, oh, you think you could have been on time? Get my luggage. You're late. Bitch, bitch.
And Melissa's always late.
Yeah. She
was
hugs
late
her, though.
She did. She's trying to be nice.
Yeah. She hugs her. And we find out that Louie did get sent back to prison for 30 days because he was at that work release program in a halfway house. And she went and saw him at his job, and he got in trouble.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
And it was also on TV.
Yeah, but then it also has something to do with that phone, too.
Yeah, Melissa says, well, he called me from that phone that you bought him. So it actually is everybody's fault. It's his fault for calling me from that phone. It's my fault for having a TV crew, and it's your fault for buying him the phone.
Everyone's guilty.
Everyone's guilty.
Yep.
So then they talk about probation and how Louie has to stay at Donna's house there in Georgia for probation. And Melissa says, Donna is just trying to control our lives and our relationship. She's trying to control everything.
Well, not in this case. I mean,
that's
the law. Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of has to do what the law says.
So Donna goes into like a sip and stop or whatever, 7-Eleven, whatever.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
That was the funniest shit ever. The fact that this woman can hardly get in the truck and Melissa does not park as close to the door as possible for this woman to go to the restroom.
She didn't care. She's got a cane. She's like, it's good for her circulation. She needs to move.
She parked like almost as far away as she could. Like, I was like, okay. The hate is
my husband does that when we're on road trips. He'll park to like get gas, and the three of us will like jump out to go to the bathroom, and then he'll park the car. He always parks it so far away. I'm like, could you have parked it by the door? He's like, it's good for everybody to move around. I'm like, don't worry about me. I'm good.
And James is the polar opposite. He will damn near park at the door for me. He's like, I don't want you to have to walk.
Dave will only park in the shade. Matter of fact, one of the bigger fights we've had in our life is when we were going to the hospital for my scheduled C-section for my son, John, who's now 18. It's been an 18-year fight. And he parked, it was August 1st, the day I had that baby. He parked so far away from where we had to walk in. I am literally 39 weeks pregnant. And he parked really far away to put the car in the shade. Because he's like, later on, I'm going to have to come out here to drive to go get Anna. So it's in the shade. I was like, don't worry about me literally giving birth within the hour. But make sure you park the car in the fucking shade. So later when you come out here, you won't be hot.
Oh, no, Dave. Well, I can one-up that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Skylar's dad forgot to come pick me up to go have this scheduled C-section.
Oh, so you had the C-section at home?
My mom had to take me. Well, no, it was scheduled to be induced. Yeah, he completely forgot. Yeah, my mom had to take me. So, yeah.
Oh. Did he show up by the time she was born?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
good.
For the induction. He did. Yeah, but yeah, totally forgot. Yeah, that's why we're not together.
Oh, okay. Well, Dave and I are still together, but he still never apologized. He still stands his ground on that park in the shade.
Oh, no. Dave, you need to apologize. You were wrong.
He will take a bullet for that park in the shade shit. It's a family trait. His dad's the same, got to park in the shade. Yeah. I know. I'm going to get so many DMs about parking in the shade. Okay.
You know it.
All right. So while Donna is inside at the gas station, Melissa calls her dad. and was like, oh my God, you won't believe her. Oh my God, Donna, she's so crazy. And Donna acts like she's going to boss me around, like she's in charge of me. Like, what the fuck? And Dad says, fuck her. You don't have to take her shit. Fuck her. I got to put my dentures back in. Fuck her. Which is hilarious. Fuck her. You don't have to take her shit. Okay.
And she is giving her shit. She really is talking a lot of shit to Melissa.
So then Dad calls in the car. Now, I said, I do think a lot of this is put on for production, but I got to tell you, the way Donna was like, who? Donna absolutely did not know Dad was about to call.
No, and Donald doing that is a total my mom would do the same thing. Totally would do the same thing if someone were giving me a hard time. She would call and say, let me speak to that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dad calls in the car and goes, oh, you driving? Donna with you? Let me talk to Donna. And she was like, whoop. She gives a surprise face. And then he says, Donna, are you giving her a hard time? And Donna goes, no, I'm not. And Melissa goes, my daddy's just protective. And Louie and I are in love. And then, they've hung up the phone. And Donna goes, how can you fall in love with somebody over the phone? And Melissa goes, everyone doubts that what we have is real. Donna goes, well, you're going to have a hard time. Everybody's going to have to prove it. And she says, we will prove everyone that our love is true. Louie and I will prove everyone wrong. She's just got such hearts for eyes, She just really can't see anything.
And she's half-assed afraid of Donna too. Like, she hardly wants to speak because she thinks Donna's going to attack her no matter what she says. And Donna kind of does.
I got to tell you, though, when they get to the hotel and they're walking and they're in rooms side by side, I'm like, thank God they didn't do this old trope that they do on the show, making somebody share a room.
Yes,
glad.
I agree. Yeah.
I think Donna was like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm not sharing a room with her.
Yeah.
No.
I was wondering, I was like, they're not going to make them share a room, are they? Because
They
that's
always
gonna be
do,
pretty
though.
damn bad. They do. Yeah,
so
we TV was like, I think we're going to splurge this time and get them 2 rooms. Yeah.
Yeah. But they have an adjoining door, ladies, in case you want to get up to something. So as they're checking into their rooms, Donna goes, we have to be in the car at 5:30 in the morning, okay?
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, Donna. God, she gets in that room, orders some Uber Eats. So next morning, Melissa has put on this cheer outfit. Now, the cheer outfit isn't as cute as I remember. It doesn't even have like a letter on the front, like a big, high school or anything. It is just it's an unlabeled Sheen cheer outfit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
she didn't even get like an L monogrammed on it.
I know, that would have been perfect.
I think so.
L for Louie.
Yeah.
LHS, Louie High School.
Yeah.
But Melissa has such a cute body. I do wish she would have worn like some cute like yoga pants or something. But anyway. Yeah. Donna is in her room having a full mental breakdown. Boo-hooing.
Yeah, she is.
She says this has been the longest 10 years of her life. And any parent knows who has had a child that suffered from addiction knows there are 2 choices in life. 10 feet under, 6 feet under, but that's fine. 10 feet under.
In case there's a flood, maybe.
Get way down.
Way down. Yeah.
10 feet under or in prison. And she thanks God every day that he was in prison. She said, but I was real sad. She says, because at least if he's in prison, I could hold him when I went to visit, and I know I can hold him again today, which was real sad. It made you have a different kind of outlook on Donna.
Only for a moment. It was very, very temporary because the way she banged on Melissa's door like she was the popo made you kind of like not stand her again. It's like, oh, here, she's back. She's back.
So they head to the prison, and Melissa says, now listen, Donna, Louie and I are going to need to spend some time alone together. And she goes, no. And she goes, Donna, he's going to have to learn how to do things on his own without you smothering him.
Yes.
And I'm really good for him. And Donna goes, how you figure that? And she goes, because I have my shit together and he could be with me and I can help him. And Donna goes, what do you think you know how to handle a recovering drug addict?
She got a point. She's got a point.
What does Donna know how to handle it? How does Donna know?
Yeah,
and Melissa goes, well, I'm not like a expert, but I know that to live with me, he's going to have to live a sober life. And if he doesn't, then it's sayonara. And he knows that.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you,
points.
When you see Melissa in that talking head she does with that one shoulder red dress, she looks so good. She looks great.
Yeah.
She looks really good. She's got like a muscular arm. That's why I can't
Yeah.
wear anything one shoulder like that. 'Cause it shows your arm.
Mail carrying does that.
You're right.
Yeah.
She's got a
Mhm.
physical job.
Yep.
And she says, of course she worries about him relapsing. And of course she worries about his codependent relationship with his mother. But so she
Right.
needs him to get to Jersey ASAP so she can really, break these things. So
Yes.
they get out of the truck at the prison and Donna immediately starts crying. And she's like, come on, Donna. Come on, Donna.
She's struggling.
She's struggling. It's now 8:10. He's supposed to get out at 8. And Donna goes, oh my God, you have that stupid cheerleading outfit on under there. Oh my God. And then they see Louie, and Donna is really bawling. And this is why I think
Yes.
they're putting it on for the cameras, because Melissa grabs her and holds her hand, and they hand in arm in arm, hand in hand. They walk up to him. And that's why I think
Right.
I think it's a little bit put on, because Melissa is trying to Melissa, what she could have done, because she's in good shape, like we just said, she could have run and gotten that first hug and first kiss, but she waited. She waited.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he walks up and he's like,
Yeah.
Mom, I can hear you crying from all the way up here. Jeez, Mom. And he walks
He
up.
was dressed like a pirate. Like
Those clothes fit him a
was
long time ago.
huge. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was so skinny, so emaciated.
Yes. Yeah.
And so he hugs his mom first, which is the right thing to do.
Right. Yes.
And then he grabs Melissa and it's on. It is like
Yes.
ass grabbing, tongue licking. He's like, and
Yeah.
Mom's like, oh, geez, here we go.
Yeah.
So he says, you try to picture what it will be like when you get out, but you can't picture it. It's electrifying.
Right.
He says, it's going to take a while to get adjusted. Melissa's like, of course, it's going to take a while to get adjusted. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So then he tells us, like, hi, I'm Louie. I've got more than 5 teeth. I got about 8.5. 8.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because was I wrong for whenever he was talking? I was trying to count the teeth. Like, oh, that's a half tooth right there.
It's a half tooth. Yeah.
That's a full tooth.
Mhm.
I was just kind of trying to see a little bit, like how many.
He's got a couple of years of dental work ahead of him.
I agree. Yeah.
And then he really is pretty cute. I gotta tell you.
He's cute. His eyes are kind of dark, like they're dead, like he's soulless or
Well,
something.
He's seen
But
some
that's
shit.
what years of meth, meth
Yeah.
in prison can do that to you.
He says, he did drugs since he was in 8th grade. And he's like, of course, I
Damn.
started out with 8th grade. He says, I started out, of course,
Yes.
smoking pot and then drinking. And then that goes to X and that goes to this and that goes to that. And then you end up being on heroin and pills. And he says, I got to tell you, going through withdrawals for pills and heroin is the worst thing you could ever experience. You do feel like you're going to die. So you're just doing anything you can to get it. And I ended up doing a robbery. And he
He's
says,
lucky to be alive.
Yeah. And he says, I got a 20-year sentence. It's a serve 10, get 10. So serve 10 years and get 10 years probation. So he's got 10 years probation. He says, going to prison saved my life. I'm grateful for it. And being sober is great. And and that's my life now. So, we start off believing him and we hope everything's fine. Yeah.
Because it's easy to be sober when you're in prison.
Yeah. Or it's not. I mean, plenty of people do drugs in prison too.
That's true. That's true.
But he's done everything he's supposed to do except for that grab ass with Melissa that got him sent him back for 30 days.
True.
So he tells Mom as they're walking back to the car, he's like, Mom, I'm going to go to the hotel. And she goes, no. And he goes, we'll drop you off at the house. She goes, no, we're going to the house. And he goes, we'll drop you at the house. I got things to do. And she's like, no, we're going to the house. And she's like, I'll drop you at the hotel to Melissa. And she's like, okay.
She's so mean.
She's so mean because she knows. She's like, oh, okay. So he says, it's been 10 years. He's like a virgin now. And Melissa, she's like, I'm going to take your virginity, Louie. And he goes, yeah. She goes, I'll show you all the new moves. And he just laughs.
I think they're the same moves, Melissa. Just,
I think same moves 10 years later. Let's see. So he's 41. Yeah. So he was at least banging until he was 31. So it wasn't like he was just banging until he was like 17.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a long ass time.
He's probably caught up on the moves. So he had that phone he could get porn on in prison. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Next week on Love After Lockup, Mikey gets home. Chelsea gets out to greet him. Now, Melissa says to Louie, and I rewound this a couple of times. I couldn't quite understand what was being said here. She says, you have to tell your mom, but I couldn't quite understand what they were talking about. You have to
I
tell your
thought,
mom.
well, I thought that it was going to be that they were going to the hotel because Donna yells, "You're staying home."
Yeah. And I didn't know if it's because you got to tell your mom you're planning to move with me to Jersey after the 1 year or whatever. Because then, so we'll see. So then we see Key Rock and Brittany, and they're fighting in the car. And he's saying, like, why'd you bring me to this probation? We're supposed to go to Chesterfield. He's like yelling
Jeez.
because she had the wrong probation address. And she says, when I don't get mad, but when I've had it, I've had it. And I just fucking had it, like being yelled at.
Right.
Andy is saying, now we need to get home now. And Brittany says, it seems like they're in the hotel. So I think he's saying we need to get back to Rome.
Uh-huh.
And Brittany goes, and just leave Gracie? No. And he was like, she left. So I think what happens is like Gracie gets mad and leaves. And Brittany's like, well, I'm not going to leave Hartwell or wherever the fuck they are. And I'm not going back with you to Rome until I talk to Gracie. He's like, she left.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Mm.
So then Raneka calls Asante and yells in the phone, she told me, bitch, you've been fucking with her for 2 years, bruh. I love the bruh.
Bruh.
Bruh. And the PI says, so what do you want to see happen? And then we see Raneka lean into the camera and go, I'm going to show you and Auntie what's going to happen. I got scared.
Boy.
I got scared.
Well, if a woman calls you bruh, that means she'll fight you.
She call you bitch and she call you bruh. She's about to take that wig off and her earrings and start swinging.
Yeah, she'll put her hands on you for sure. Yeah.
She is big mad. She is big mad that they've had this camera been following their fairy tale that has not ended well.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep.
Oh, girl, that is it. And what is happening on the Libra Lounge? I know you got stuff to talk about. I know you're going to talk about Kim and Croy. What the fuck's going on with them over there this week?
Yes. We have a new episode dropping today, actually. So make sure to check it out anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. And it will be all the latest on celebrity news and gossip and reality television.
Do you have thoughts on the Joe Jonas, Sophie Turner situation?
Yes, it's getting a little bit crazy, and now the exes have joined forces, and the exes, as in Taylor Swift, has joined in on the conversation now. That's pretty bad.
You know who else should join in is Demi Lovato. She used to date him too.
Yeah, that would be pretty scary with Demi and her loud ass. She's just one of those. She can't sing quietly. She has to sing loud.
I love Demi Lovato.
She's so cute. Yes, she's so cute.
I do. I love her singing. I love
She's
her
loud.
big mouth singing voice.
Yes.
I loved her on Camp Rock 1 and 2, the final jam. Love. You know, she's done a whole album where she has turned all her pop songs into rock songs.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I find her interesting. So you're talking about that stuff, and we're talking about. I heard on some other podcast that Croy had been offered some sort of like Magic Mike situation.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna do it, but he should.
He should put that money in his bank account that's only in his name only.
Because Lord knows he needs the money, but I don't think that he's gonna do it.
So that Surreal Life, she's gonna be on the Surreal Life. Is that already started showing, or they're just filming it now and we'll see it in a couple of months, or what's the deal?
Yeah, they're filming it, and if you follow her on social media, like, she is so happy to be back filming. Like, she's filming all in the house. She started filming stuff in the house before anything about this, who was going to be on a Surreal Life, was even mentioned, period, point blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a real disturbing video of Ariel, the youngest daughter. I was like,
Ariana.
Who's that? No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Ariana and Ariana.
Brielle's the oldest, and Ariana's is younger.
I got Ariel, Brianna.
You mixed their names,
I mixed their names. Okay, see, it could happen to everybody. Airdress, it could happen to everybody.
Yes, it can.
But I did correct myself.
Okay, so that's the thing. You corrected yourself. Yes.
So Ariana, I saw Yeah, I was like, new face, who dis? Like, what's happening here, girl?
It's very sad. Like, but look who their role model
I
is.
know.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
all right. I gotta make sure I know about these shows when they come out. And all right, so everybody make sure you listen to Keisha over in the Libra Lounge with
Please
Keisha.
do, please
She's
do.
breaking it all down for you right over there on the Libra
But
Lounge. Keisha.
it's not
What?
safe for work, not safe
No,
for children,
no,
not safe for the sensitive.
not safe for the sensitive.
Not
So
at all.
go and if you
Right.
have complaints about something Keisha said on the Libra Lounge,
Uh,
you go ahead and send her a DM. You don't need to send it to me.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Keisha's got a new haircut. She looks real cute.
It's very sassy. Yeah. I
She's
have
got bangs. It's
bangs.
cute. It's
I got
cute.
fall bangs. Yes.
I like
Thank you,
it.
Mary Payne.
I like it a lot.
Thanks.
I like it a lot. Okay, and guys, please make sure you follow us over on Pink Shade Pod. And also, guys,
Mm-hmm.
I said this over on the weekend on Patreon, Supercast, but if you were planning to come to the after party in Vegas, so Thursday, November 2nd, you go to notorietylive.com, you look up Cabaret Me. So November 2nd, you click that, you're going to buy your ticket to that. And then you add on the after party, which is hosted by Pink Shade. Keisha will be there. Producer
Hey.
James will be there. But guess what? Those tickets are almost sold out. Like I'm talking like 3-4 tickets are left. Like hardly
Oh,
any. Yeah. Like not even 10.
wow.
Like less than 5, I think, are left now. So if you wanted to go to that after party, you need to go buy those tickets because I think that the Thursday show is almost sold out and then the after party is really almost sold out because we have less tickets for the after party than the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. It's gonna be full house, Keisha.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. So everybody, if you hear this and you want to go over there and there are no tickets left, I'm sorry. I told you about it a month ago. Hope I'll see you at the Cabaret Amy show, or I'll just see you at BravoCon. Keisha and I will be around. We'll be around doing
Yes,
our
we will.
thing.
Yes, we
All
will.
right. Please follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod, and I will talk to you next week, Keisha.
Bye.
Bye. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.